Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Play On. My name is Candace Barrett.
I'm Rob Mackay.
And this is Pearcey. I was talking to one of our listeners the other day, and they just loved her. Candace, hello.
Well, someone's got to bring sophistication to this pod.
Yeah, because it's sure as shit not me.
It's not
Sometimes
us.
people just say hello to me. I'm just like, hello.
Love that.
So good. How was everyone's weekend? Did anyone go to Kiama or was involved in any sevens, Mardi Gras, GMG?
No, and no for me. I didn't go to Kiama. I did talk with a couple of the attendees yesterday, and they said it was a great tournament. I didn't go to the GMG on Sunday here in Bathurst. Sorry, where was it? In Orange?
And that's for everyone, game management guidelines. For all those.
I think I'm right in saying that it is the thing you have to do every year to stay accredited, the main part of that. So I am not as yet accredited. I better probably do something about that.
Well, some would argue
Tick
you've
some
never been
boxes.
accredited, Pearcey.
Yeah, it's it's always been about the vibe anyway.
The vibe.
So Candace and I both went to the GMGs in Sydney. I had a rather large family weekend, so we had a lightning visit to Canberra on Friday for a last post ceremony for an ancestor who died in the First World War. So that was quite a gathering. That's on Linda's side. And then on Saturday night, we had my niece's 21st. So there was a lot of running around, a lot of family catch-ups, which was lovely. It meant not as much rugby presence and viewing. I was actually in Canberra on Saturday, and the Brumbies game was on Saturday night, but I had to get out of Dodge to get to the next function. So
and
that
wasn't it a good
tease.
game? I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. Well, we'll come to that, but yes.
Yeah, there's lots of Super Rugby going on.
Yeah. 3 from 3 for the Aussie teams on the weekend. Not
Sweet.
a bad effort. First time in a dozen or so years. So take that. That's probably a
love
statement on both Aussie rugby and Kiwi rugby, to be honest. So the yin and the yang. But yes, we'll come back to that. So that was my weekend.
Sweet. Kiama Sevens, I heard as well some really good feedback from some people. I had a few friends from different country teams going, but I think there's the typical nude streaker. The streaker is nude. And then all the different normal vibes that you see at Kiama. So I'm happy that everyone enjoyed themselves, which is great.
Long live the streaker, I reckon.
So for those who don't know, Kiama Sevens is probably the premier sevens tournament in Australia outside the professional and performance pathway, and it's got some of that as well. It's
long term. It's
been going for
years or so.
I think it was the 50th a year or two ago.
Yeah,
something like
long
that.
Time.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful setup. There's 2 grounds, one high, one low. It's just near the beach.
Ideal scenario.
The whole town gets into it. The town just pumps. And a ritual that has been going as long as I can remember is at halftime in the men's final, which is the final game of the tournament. It's a one-day tournament. There's a streaker or 2, or in this case, apparently there was about a dozen of them this year. So streaker numbers are up.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And I believe they're strong Central West boys as well. So
yeah, it's usually a country
continue.
team, I thought.
Yeah.
Someone did a backflip last time I was there. I was
and
like,
that's
we
wow.
were there 2 years ago. We saw a very impressive backflip with full frontal tackle backflip. It was great.
And the backflip is alive and well and was living this tournament as well. So,
excellent.
Well done on the streakers. Love your work.
And I believe Marco Polo Levy got the final.
He did. Well done, Marco. Really pleased for you, mate. From everything I heard, it went really, really well. So bravo to you. He's done a lot of 7 stuff in the next gen recently.
Oh, did I hear rumours that Waldorf and Statler were there doing mod work? Candace, I probably need to explain that reference to you and some of our listeners.
Is very blank.
Waldorf and Statler were the old guys on the balcony in the theatre on the Muppets.
Correct.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
So
I'm just trying to envision it right now.
We might put an image in the socials on that. But we used to call John McCarthy and Mick Tanzer Waldorf and Statler, and from what I hear, they made a guest appearance there as mods. Which
is that right?
Which I think is fantastic. And look, I actually think they're worth celebrating, those two. Johnny Mack has got Australia's best male and best female referee in his coaching squad, and he's been doing it for a long time. I was actually talking yesterday with with one of the refereeing officials on how the hell they keep reinventing themselves and staying at the forefront of coaching, because that's unusual for coaches to stay that long with athletes.
Yeah.
I believe Mac has been coaching Gussie for, this is year 14.
Yeah, about that.
So
Possibly
cool.
longer.
That's really cool, and it's a credit to him for his longevity and ability to just keep the pencil sharp. So, and then they go and give up a weekend at Kiama. So it's pretty impressive. Well done, lads. Waldorf and Stetler.
Well, we had Macca in for one of our mod sessions in the last little while. His insights into how to stay sharp were really good. Well worth a listen. I think it was captured somewhere. So, but just keep learning. That was sort of the takeaway, which is what he's been doing.
We talk about guys, keeping their pencil sharp for rugby, but he's doing reasonably well with work too. Like these, he and Mick are both full-time employment.
Yeah, and Mick looks after some other elite refs and Oceania. He's heavily involved in Oceania rugby.
And used to look after me. He changed my life.
Yeah,
great guy.
Great insights. So the Waldorf and Stadler thing's quite funny because that could apply to quite a few of our pairs of mods.
Well, I believe they were the OG.
They were the OGs. There you go.
Come a little package deal, I should say.
Yeah.
But they have fun together, and that's probably
absolutely.
Everything else aside, technically, that's why they do it. They have fun together. So good on you, lads.
Yeah, what a great way to spend your time, hey? Watching footy.
That's what we love to do.
And nude backflips.
And nude backflips.
You don't want a cold day when you're doing that.
I won't be doing it.
No. Well, I'll be carted off to hospital if I do it because my backflipping's never been good.
Righto. What have we got in rugby news, Candace?
So World Rugby's Shape of the Game has been released, come out. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so this was last week. It's the overarching shape of the game for the world. And so then it flows down from there. We have it at Super Rugby, we have it at local level, etc. Now, we'll talk more about this in future pods, but the 4 key points are around no changes to laws, despite all the...
It's been years, apparently. I don't know. I feel like every year there's something.
There was a rumour that Australia and New Zealand were trying to depower the scrum. That's
been all over the place. I've had people that aren't even players come up to me, and they're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, this is not news that I'm aware of.
Complete mischief by some
fake news.
People in the game. So universal agreement that the on-field game is in a strong position. The attendees endorse the 4 global trials currently in operation, and they'll probably go straight into full law. But we'll hear more about that later. Need to celebrate the sport more, build stars and heroes. I think that makes sense when you look at...
Including refereeing heroes?
Yeah.
Like Holly?
Yeah, and which is we're seeing that happening. Holly, Alona Ma, etc. Seeing some of our girls, Maddie Levy, building up a profile. Charlotte Caslick's had a profile. We're going to do that with the 15s players more. DuPont's got a profile in France. Don't have a lot of that here with our players, so that's something we can definitely work on. More alignment between laws and competitions, so trying to get everyone on the same page is happening, but the French have gone off with some law trials. We've got some of our own, so just try and bring everyone in the tent, which I think is getting there, although Mathieu Reynal tends to fire off at random.
Mathieu.
Yeah. No, we don't play.
That's typical. Surprised.
And then the women's game, just keep focusing on the women's game and growing that and supporting it and investing in it. So, yes, but watch the space, more to come on that front.
Love that little update. For us as well, we had our GMGs like we mentioned before. That sort of goes through what we need to be focusing on, what's still the same as per last year, and what's going to be a new focus. And it's sort of like broken down into the four S's and I scenario, with that one: safety, space, speed, set piece, and interactions.
So for those listening at home who aren't sure what we're talking about, the game management guidelines, they're essentially a cheat code for match officials and community rugby players and coaches. So the law book's got 100 and something pages. Then you got your competition notes. This is a 13-page PDF, including a lot of pictures.
And videos.
There's lots
of good videos of like penalty, yellow cards, and like what red cards sort of look like as well.
And it just goes through the emphasis on the game, according to what Candace said, the 4 S's and the I's. And if you get your I, the interaction right, the rest tend to follow. There's a working party every year, and so I think we need to shout out to the working party because this is really important work. It's led by
Woo.
Graham Cooper, friend
Nice
of the
work,
pod,
Coops.
Friends
Coops and the
pod.
team.
and he's head of community match officials at RA. Michael Magripolis, who's head of community coaching, so community. So there's a real focus on grassroots there. Mitch DeLorenzo, shout out to
Way.
Mitch, match official manager for education. Andrew Gilchrist, known as Gilly, his workforce. Drew Crozier, developing states. Brendan Gibbo, so he's the match official performance manager for RA, so he looks after the higher echelons of the game. Pete Garden and Tom Halliday, so competition manager and head of game development respectively. So they all get in a room and work out what's important and where the areas of emphasis need to be focused, and then any tweaks that come out of those discussions in the context of World Rugby law. And they'll work with World Rugby and the states and the various stakeholders to come up with the plan that we have. So that's how we get there. Anyone in the community game should be aware of them. If you're not, find them because it's really important to understand.
It's on the websites. You can always
what's
look it
happening
up and save it as well.
because the match officials will be focusing on these areas and the coaches should be as well, and the players need to know them. So
it's a real credibility check when you're at a community game and you say to the coaches, so did you do your GMGs this year? And if they say yes, you can rest assured they're actually probably closer to the pointy end than the others. And if they say no, you can place them further down the field a bit.
Yeah, and if they say yes and you're not sure, just ask them a question, right?
Yeah.
Tease out a question and you'll find out soon enough whether they've done
name 3 of the 4 S's.
Exactly.
But I love it. And there's not a lot of changes this year, which is great.
That's the good thing. Apparently that hasn't happened in like years on end. Like normally there's always something that's being trialed out.
And we didn't have much last year either. Remembering that we implemented a significant change in the game with the tackle height. And they kept everything else pretty straightforward and it worked. So yeah, I think that's actually credit where it's due. We just spoke about World Rugby. The game's in good shape. I think community rugby, the game's in great shape.
I would agree with that as well. Some of the slight changes was blue cards. So that's something that maybe other people in different countries aren't going to be used to, but it's something to make sure that you're off-field change only, really, for that.
Yeah, so if you're a match official, give me a blue card, that does not change, but how the medical side of that is handled off the field, there's now an opportunity for an alternative diagnosis, but it's got to be done really quickly and in a certain framework. So that just manages the situation where there's some queries around what happens. So,
and let's face it, the referees have not got that perfectly right. That's hard. Like we're being asked to make some big calls on a front that a lot of us aren't qualified medically. We're the only one that can do that, but we're not necessarily going to get it perfect. So I think it's great that we're tweaking that. I think the other one is the user call at the ruck.
Yeah.
Speed that game up a bit.
Yeah. Well, the user call itself hasn't changed, but the sanction has.
Yeah.
So instead of a scrum, it's a free kick. So.
And there's some good questions about when we were in the GMG, it was like rucks, but also someone brought up about mauls as well. So when we say use it in relation to the maul, which I thought was a good point to add as well.
Yeah, but that's not a change. That's just reminding people
keep
what
it
we're
tight
trying to do.
Yeah. And we saw the Brumbies on the weekend really walking a fine line with that maul. The
the maul's always. I think it's one of the hardest parts of the game to officiate. There's so much happening, so many moving parts. Yeah, that's right. And every time we try and tweak it to try and make it easier, we we trigger the law of unintended consequences. Something else happens. It's whack-a-mole at the maul. So
I do love the last bit in the New South Wales trial about the playing enclosure.
That's
going to tidy things up, I hope.
This is really good. I love this because this actually gives us quicker process. So just to explain, previously, once the whistle had gone, if there was some mischief, it came under the code of conduct, which is
and we got bitten really hard in Central West on this one, and the amount of administrative time that it cost. When seconds after the game, we had an all-in brawl. The referee issued a red card to the 2 initial protagonists, and it was not accepted. Which, for me, I'd like to argue that was actually pretty boneheaded from the administrators at Rugby Australia on that front, because it became an administrative nightmare. And what should have been a pretty straightforward call of that is unacceptable behaviour became an argument of whether or not it was unacceptable. And on reflection, when you step back, it's unacceptable. Full
Yeah.
stop.
And I think, Pearcey, that's been a trigger. That's a catalyst for this change. I think there's been a couple
I
like
think
that.
so. It was we pushed back pretty hard on that, but it's not the first time this has happened. And
No.
I can remember back in the dark annals of history, I didn't have cards on me for a game, and a guy got off because I didn't give him a red card, despite the fact I did
seriously?
send him off. I know there's a law book, but the intention of the referee to send someone off, it shouldn't come down to whether or not they had a card in their pocket. And that's a failure from the administrators there. And I thought last year that was a bit of a failure, but this tweak, it fixes it. It fixes it nicely and cleanly, and we'll resume business as usual.
I just wanted to mention that, like, because it's in that playing zone, so most community matches should have it like roped out as well, so it's nice and clear on like who's in that area.
Yeah, and I'd like to make a really subtle point here. It's roped off, and the coaches and the bench also sit outside it.
Well, that
Depends how big the area is.
That depends
surely.
on the ground. But yes, often the play enclosure has your technical zone with the coaches and subs in it. Occasionally they're outside of it, which complicates it. But this applies to the play enclosure and everyone inside it. And there's various levels of sanction that you can now apply. So instead of going through code of conduct, which is, as you say, Pearcey, a long and drawn out process because it's very legalistic.
Takes months, apparently. Like
yes.
Yeah.
This then brings those protagonists into the judicial process. So instead of having to take months, you end up at judiciary on Monday or Wednesday. So you get an outcome really quickly. So, for example, if you've got a coach who's been a dick and you're able to sanction them through the judicial process, i.e. you red card them, we know by next Saturday, well, that coach has got 6 weeks for being a dick. They're out and everyone knows. So you've got visibility and transparency and speed of justice. And that's good for everyone.
We've got more people falling under the remit of a red card, which is fantastic.
Yep. So players to match officials, non-player participants. So that's your coaches, trainers, medics, etc. Non-participants, and this is defined. So just a random in the crowd who happens to be in the play enclosure, there's still code of conduct.
As a referee, don't be afraid to give him a red card.
Yeah.
In practice, we all know what that means.
Yes.
Go away.
You can still kick him out.
And they got really sharp corners, so don't be afraid to poke him with them.
And it's unlikely to be a yellow card. You can't yellow card a non-player.
Yeah, that was the thing.
It's red or nothing. So, but that then triggers the sanction.
And give them a blue too. They've clearly had some brain injury as well. So red and blue. A purple card.
Purple, is that a higher or lower card than a brown one, Pearcey?
It's more front and back, I think.
So, yeah, bravo. Good thinking.
Yep, great work.
So this is from a listener in Dublin, in Ireland. So they really enjoyed listening to some of our older pods and wanted to shout out what they call is the rule of cool, what they use in Ireland. So it's a motto that if it please the crowd, it's allowed. So it's just sort of like, I guess, what we bring up about the general vibe, rewarding like the spectacular, basically.
They don't know who Dennis Denudo is in Ireland.
You know, when there's some things that are like marginal decisions, so that's sort of like make sure they entertain the spectators. So that's their way of, their motto. Rules
I love it.
Cool.
Thank you, Patty. We love your work.
So restate the motto.
So the motto is, if it please the crowd, it's allowed.
Nice.
So there
please
you go,
the crowd,
guys.
it's allowed. Okay.
The rule of cool, Rob.
The rule of cool.
Cool.
I don't often get accused of being cool.
The referees are so cool, right?
No.
We're such cool people.
I'm the antithesis. So if you want to see what's cool, look at me and do the opposite.
Yeah. I'm with you. Team nerd.
Team nerd and proud.
I was a bit sad. We had a weekend off, Six Nations.
So this week we've got Ireland, Wales, Scotland, France, the old firm, and Italy, England. So let's do our tips so we can do the appointments if you want.
Let's do that. I am going to tip Ireland. I think the Welsh played well, but I don't think they got the cattle to beat the Irish.
Yeah.
Ireland at home after a big win, Wales on the up. This is a tricky one.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
I will look forward to watching
I hope
this.
it's entertaining. I hope there's like a little back and forth tries going
Welsh
on.
get in their rowboats and go across the Irish Sea. Yeah, shouldn't be too far. So, okay, Candace, Ireland, Wales. Who you got?
Ireland.
Ireland, righto. Pearcey, who you on?
I'm in Ireland.
I think Ireland will get there as well. All right, Scotland, France.
Also a tough game. I'm going with the
Mm.
French. More importantly, I'm going to bet on who's wearing blue.
Okay, well, I'm pretty happy that France won't be wearing lilac.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen some funky colours in this Six Nations.
Well, the Italians
The
were
lilac.
red. I mean, hello.
Mate,
with
I
blue
turned
shorts.
it on. I thought we were watching Portugal. I was
Yeah.
so confused.
Well, I didn't know which team was which for a while. So, yeah.
I'm France.
Yeah, I'm
as well.
France too. But
I'm
I
a
reckon
France as well.
this will be a doozy. Scotland at home. Remember Bonnie Prince Charlie, Mary Queen of Scots. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff going on there.
Just want to shout out to, is it Princess Anne? With her sick little sonnies the last time
yeah.
she was there. She was just like vibing.
She's a patron of Scottish rugby, isn't she?
Yeah. So just can't wait to see her just balling out.
Long-term
again.
rugby legend, Princess
the
Anne.
the most respected royal.
And
by
my
a long
favourite
way.
royal. Yep.
Yeah. She's a doer. She's a lifter, not a leaner.
And then Italy, Ireland. Goodness me. That's actually, that's a great fixture as well. And the one thing I'll be certain on is the Italian scrum will have their way with the English scrum.
Oh.
100%.
How
100%.
good have they been?
So good. It's what's the Ferrari guy? Is that his name?
Yeah. We talk about Joseph Suwali as the Ferrari, but we've got a real Ferrari here, and it's a hard-working, high horsepower, high torque Ferrari. So yes, spicy.
Superstar. I'm on England, unfortunately.
Italia.
I'm going to go Italy on this.
I just want to see England.
I want to see that too. Don't get me wrong. I want to
switching.
see that. I don't think we will.
Yeah.
We can say that, like, oh, this week they can't lose 4 times in a row, can they?
Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to Super Rugby, which we have seen over the weekend. We saw some fantastic footy. I saw a great photo of Bock and...
Oh, yes. Maggie and...
I don't know who the third one was, covered in
It was
beautiful...
Todd Petrie.
It was the front and back photos.
Yeah, the front and back of mud there. And I've been there.
We've all been there, haven't we?
At that particular ground, and it is hell.
Yeah.
Just mud, and more mud.
And getting back on the plane to go to New Zealand, having to get every little skerrick of that Fijian mud off them, especially
Good
their
luck.
boots. Yeah.
Well, we had one of our match officials come back from Fiji a year or two ago, and he arrived at Sydney Airport and got his boots out for inspection, and out hopped the frog.
Oh.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, wow. Anyone who's not aware of that, the Australian and New Zealand
Ooh.
agricultural authorities sit at the border and they check things like that because we don't want these things coming in to Australia and New Zealand. I remember flying from Australia to New Zealand and I had a little Bathurst burr in my running shoes. One of the worst prickles you will ever see, a little cathead we call them.
Oh, they're nasty.
And they are nasty, and I could have been the biosecurity threat that got it through. Unfortunately, I got picked up there and not fined, but that's a fairly substantial fine these days. I think it's a $1,200 fine for biosecurity breaches like that. So you declare your boots and shoes, and they inspect them, and if they come up dirty with the boots in particular, they've actually got a high-pressure washing system at the airport that they wash your shoes in.
We were coming back from Samoa, a rugby tour in Samoa, and we'd been incredibly diligent about our boots, but we're in the declare line because we had to be. And we're unpacking all our stuff, getting our boots out, and it started to look quite closely, and we're going, oh, shit. And then all of a sudden there was a kerfuffle behind us, and the tourists, and that's all I'm going to say, behind us had live fish.
Oh.
Yeah, wow.
So,
live fish.
You can
What
go
were
through.
they?
Yep, no problem.
I know what you mean by live tourists. I'm with you.
And it's like, yep, we're fine. We're out of here.
Yeah.
Don't look back.
It's a really important part of traveling. Having a separate boot bag, you can keep them clean in.
Yeah,
Pretty important.
Yeah.
Really?
But it was a great game
Absolutely.
too. It was muddy as hell, but there was just some skewers being thrown around, skewers being
flying
thrown around
bodies.
the field.
I was watching with people, they're like, how are their ankles not broken? Or like this, like I can't imagine Ben O'Keefe just being right there, hearing all the noises and slapping and everything.
That's great
going on.
footy. And I think the
So good.
Hurricanes will be suitably sore this week when they take on the Waratahs, which is a good thing.
Yes, and the Drua have found their mojo again. So the
well done, Drua.
aberration against Moana, if it was an aberration, is a distant memory, and it means everyone's won in Super Rugby in the first 3 rounds, which hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah, got a competitive comp. That's what we want.
Absolutely. So yes, the Tars Hurricanes match is going to be spicy.
Mm.
Spicy, spicy.
I'm going to jump ahead. Not as spicy as the Chiefs Crusaders, though. They do not like each other.
No.
Half time there, that was ugly. That was really ugly. I don't think Jimmy necessarily got on top of it. I reckon there was a portion of that game where he was particularly worried about that blowing up.
Yeah, there's a bit of tension.
And I dropped out of last week's pod, apologies. I don't think the Crusaders are the cleanskins that they have been, and I think there's some little dirty tactics coming into the Crusaders game which I don't like, and I'm surprised. We saw it last week with a couple of late shots from the Crusaders, and
Same
dirty
again
tactics
this
off the
week.
ball, and it's exactly, it's the same again.
Yeah.
So I think James Doleman did a pretty good job of cleaning that up and identifying it, but I reckon on Monday morning's referees meeting, the Crusaders are going to be front of houses, the team to keep an eye on because they've got a little bit of, shall we say, grubbery.
The Crusaders, for me, have always been one of those teams that is really good at turning the dial and creating pressure for the referee, and they've always been ones to push the boundary and then just dare the referee to sanction them.
But it's probably always been more their work at the breakdown rather than their dirty tactics at the breakdown. And there's a fine distinction there. I think a couple of them are getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Doleman was saying. He's saying that, like, when the play is still going, your guys are reacting still after the play. And it's not on because even one of the players has been cited because of how he did a really dangerous clear out.
Yep.
After. Once the ball is won, like, that's it.
Yeah,
Stop
and we saw
trying to throw bodies
from the
on top.
7 last week against the Brumbies on James Slipper, who probably deserves a little bit more respect than that. He got a really cheeky, ugly kidney shot.
Yeah,
it was just uncalled for and uncool.
Yeah, well, actually, the 7 is the one I think is one of the hot spots. We know who that is, so he'd certainly be on the radar if it was in a pre-match briefing with me.
Yeah.
And what they did to Max a couple of years ago as well, which was let go at the time, but it's now actually an example in GMGs of an illegal clear out. So
it is coming back into the game. James was actually very impressive. There was some long running, some beautiful, the Chiefs try of the year contender early in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And James was there. He's a serious athlete, seriously fit. So well done, mate.
Oh, and in the 80th minute, that Chiefs breakout try, no try, he was in danger of taking the offload.
Yeah. He had to pump the brakes to stay out of the way. Which that deep in the game, I haven't got any brakes left. The brake pads are worn through.
yeah, or any fuel. So he had fuel and brakes. So that was a mighty effort, and high impact decision because that's a bonus point decision. So, and he was Johnny on the spot or Jimmy on the spot in this case. So, well played.
He's turning into one of our competition's elite referees, and I'm very happy for it because from what I hear, he works harder than most referees, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, look at the physical side of the game. He's absolutely kicking ass. Yeah.
Yep.
Well done.
Reds Highlanders. I haven't actually watched that yet. It's the one game I didn't get to, but I was very pleased to see that Harry's back.
Yeah. Harry put his hand up for an honorary Fijian citizenship early in the match. So he had a tunnel ball moment. So he gets the ball. He's standing.
I did see that. That was sensational.
He's standing facing the middle of the field with his back to the sideline and parallel to it. Gets the ball, just flips it through his legs. Hopes like hell there's someone there. There is.
And it hits the chest,
And it leads to a very, very good try. So might even have been the first try. So, yes, nice, Has.
And that's really cool. And there's a guy confident in his skills and playing razzle-dazzle. I love that.
And he put another dink through as well.
Can we say the highlight of my rugby weekend? Talking about dinks through. James Slipper with the try assist. What can't that man do? Slippy's got the ball, left wing 80 out, 70 out, and put a kick through.
Yeah.
The Brumbies winger chased. It was sensational. With Slippy in the background giving it the fist pump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that down as unprecedented. Never before in the history of rugby has a man who has played 200 plus Super Rugby games
amount of caps he has.
And I love Googie on the commentary. Googie Harrison, just you could hear him going, oh. He couldn't even speak, and Googie's speechless is rare. And then I think they said something around about they need to start a new column for the stats for James Slipper. It was bloody fantastic. It's so cool.
I would love it if they put him on as a 10 and then they sub him in as the prop next time.
Yeah. Well, it was a good weekend for forwards kicking because we had 3 contenders at least because there was a hooker. I think it was the Highlands hooker. He got a 50-22. So,
And when it came off Slippy's boot, I thought it was heading for the sideline too.
it
Because
was
you could hear the crowd. You
perfectly
could hear the
weighted.
crowd, and then it panned back, and the crowd were going nuts because the Brumbies winger was in front from word go.
And the wheels on him.
Yeah.
Serious wheels. It was Declan Meredith, wasn't it? It was the 10.
And it was no slug chasing him either. It was Caleb Clark, wasn't it, chasing him?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was outstanding.
I thought that was really good work, and the referee team did pretty well then too.
Yep.
Gussie's no spring chicken anymore, and he was right there with him. Matty Kay looking sharp on the sideline.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We talked about games with lots of intensity. The breakdown in that game was immense.
Oh, yeah. It was back and forth. Balls were going out. Gus was putting his arms out, being like, well, the ball's out. And then everyone is taking it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. The Brumbies and the Blues have always been a little bit close to the line with their body height at the breakdown, and it really got quite low towards the end of that game. It's not criticism. It's definitely both teams going very, very hard at the ball. Yeah, and Rob's making the plane landing.
Or the billy goats. It's sort of like two billy goats bucking heads.
Yeah. And I think Gus did a really good job of not rewarding
that's a good term.
And not rewarding that. But the contest of the breakdown was immense. And I loved it. It was really good.
Well, I think he had a couple of options. He could set a standard early, but run the risk of blowing the pee out of the whistle, or you let it breathe and manage. And he did a lot of that. He did a lot of talking.
Yeah, and he didn't have a choice. I think in practice, having started how he started, that's how you had to finish it.
Yeah.
And it was a great game. It was a really good game.
So
I had actually seen the score before I watched it, and I was thinking, how do they get there here? And it was great.
Yeah, I know, right? The scrum management was an ongoing challenge, and the Blues loose head just didn't get with the program, and eventually got to the point where, well, mate, I've given you every opportunity. If you do this again, it's a yellow card. And rugby EQ and IQ at work, he got hooked at the next available opportunity by the coach.
Well done, coach.
I mean, you had to, right? Because he was going.
Yeah. And credit to Gussie too. The full-time whistle at the end of the game, that was intense.
Yeah,
you could see how hard he was working there. There's a lot at play. Like it was game on. The Brumbies were down, and they ended up scoring after the buzzer. And I think he did really well. Some long advantages in that latter passage of play. But I think it was right. We got some really good footy, and I don't know about you guys. It didn't have a sense of inevitability. It had a sense of, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Absolutely.
And I knew the score.
Yeah. Well, I thought I knew the score, and I'm looking and going, maybe I've misread that.
Yeah.
I really didn't know. So,
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thrill at the last minute. The Blues will rue that one. That's the one that got away from them.
Yeah, and I hope for the Blues it doesn't cost them a spot at the end of the season, because they are a good team. But once again, they were a bit more niggly than what I would like. The Brumbies did a really good job of playing their game, and there's some seriously impressive players out there. The engine on Charlie Cale, oh my Lord!
Form forward of the tournament.
Absolutely.
5 tries, and just he's a Pollock-esque type player, but I actually quite like his demeanour a bit more.
And I think he's got a little bit more of the what did you say about Princess Anne? She does the heavy lifting, so does Charlie Cale.
He's a lifter, not a leaner.
Lifter, not a leaner. Charlie Cale is not hanging on the side of the breakdown. He's the bloke that's done the first clean out.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
Really good to see him.
Shit haircut though, mate. Come on.
Oh, don't start me on haircuts. So what I do like about the fact that the Blues lost is I think the Blues and the Tars are probably competing for a final spot. So I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Wearing my Tars hat. So because I think there's some clear contenders for top 2 or 3, and then after that, that sort of final 2 or 3 in the 6.
And I've got my green and red, it should be gold hat on. Wouldn't it be nice if we can have the Brumbies, the Waratahs, and the Reds in the mixing finals? And that is on at the moment. So let's do this, and Force, you got a way to come.
Good.
Let's do that as well. 4 in there would be great.
I wanted to bring up, we mentioned how well the team worked. I just really liked how Matty Kay and Gus, when the ball went out, was still alive. They were still shouting like ball alive, and just being really clear with each other, because the players from the Blues 9 reacted really quickly, was able to grab that ball, and it ended up rewarding in a try.
It was beautifully done, and I think if there was anything from that, Charlie Cale's rugby IQ needs a little bit of work, because he was the one when the ball went into touch, and instead of going to the 5 metre channel to defend, he kind of tried to get in the way of the throw-in, which was a free kick sanction.
Yeah.
There was also, was it the Brumbies 10 picking up his mouthguard instead of tackling the guy? Something really random in the background there. In that, if you watch it back, he's picking up something from the ground as the eventual try scorer runs past him.
Safety first. Don't know what.
Yeah,
what happened there.
Super weird. Anyway, I perhaps watched the game too closely. I enjoyed the Moana Force. I enjoyed the Force getting a win. I didn't see there was an HIA pre-match. What's going on there?
So, interesting one. So, Dono in the pre-match triggered his HIA. So, his mouthguard went off.
I always see what you mean.
So, they hooked him for an HIA check, put Max Bury on, and then Dono came back on after a few minutes. So, I did a bit of digging on this, and this is a new protocol that Super Rugby's introduced, and they did an audit of their setup and realised they had a procedural gap so that if someone had a head knock in the pre-match, it wasn't captured.
Yeah, and we've seen how ugly that can be in the glorious game of Rugby League.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
It's a good example, Pearcey. Yeah.
Absolutely. And well, that's actually one of the catalysts for the review. So they've put this protocol in place so that there's a few things around this. So the team then has the choice. They can put the person in for an HIA, but if they fail it, they're essentially at 22 players for the rest of the match. Or they sub them out completely and start with a full set of 23. So you've got to really have an understanding of what's happened. And I would hazard a guess, because it was Ben Donaldson, he's the kicker. I reckon there's a really good chance he's put his mouthguard in his sock and he's been doing kicking practice, and that's triggered.
That set it off.
That set it off because he hasn't been thinking about the implications of that. So, and look, it may not have happened that way, but they're all very confident that he's going to pass it.
I think there's also a point there on field when we were in playtime where the players aren't necessarily as honest about these things as what they could be. Whereas in pre-match, this is an avenue for the teams to get a little bit of honesty out of the player. And I think in all reality as a player, when you've had a head knock and it's a bad one, you know it. And when you're trying to convince, in a live game, trying to convince them that you're not going to let the team down, as opposed to before the game, by declaring yourself okay when you're not, you are letting the team down. So I think it's a good process. I like it. Good protocol.
Yeah, so it's just captured a little bit more of that player safety.
For any of the listeners that don't follow rugby league, one of the Tongan players had a horrible HIA before a game, and they put him on, and then he had another 2 head injuries during the game and ended up having a significant seizure, brain bleed, and may never play again. And it was a serious lapse from the Tongan team, who were all pointing their fingers at someone else. Meanwhile, Izzy Katoa might play footy again, and it's a terrible loss to the game because he was good. He was really good.
Yeah. I think since then it's been announced that those doctors are no longer
and they're the scapegoat from what I hear. I think everyone knew there was something going on, and no one was prepared to say, "Hey, let's put Izzy's welfare first."
Yeah,
Which goes back to like this as well. I think it's really important because they're putting their body under a lot of stress, and when you're warming up and you might slip or do something, you want to make sure that your players are in the right frame of mind and nice and safe before the match.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah.
But I thought it was a good game. I haven't got any talking points out of that game because I was actually just watching it for the sake of it. It was really good. And Dono actually, when he came on, he runs the game beautifully.
Like the World Cup, the first game the Australians played, he got man of the match against Georgia and kicked 25 points. So
the highlight for me was seeing the game at the Spuddies at Pukekohe.
Yeah.
I've reffed a couple of games at that ground. That's a great spot for footy, and a lot of our Polynesian friends live around there. It seemed like a great atmosphere. Big Tana, the coach, I thought it was great.
It looked like a community ground, didn't it?
And it is. It's a fantastic footy ground. I actually reffed Tana on there when he came back to New Zealand rugby after a stint in Japan. And, I got very clearly told by the guys in the stand, you understand that Tana's basically a god here, and you can't penalise him even if he does something wrong. And I went, okay. And so, just to be clear, Tana's got a free pass here, right? No, we expect you to manage him out of it. Good luck with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem.
No worries.
I remember this first breakdown of the game, he's come flying in the side of it, and I've blown an unplayable scrum, and I mic'd up, couldn't say anything, just got eye contact and went, not again. No more.
The downtime chats to the players.
He's got a real high-pitched voice. It was quite funny.
Hello.
Thanks, Brew.
Okay, Brew.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It was good fun.
So good.
I reckon this week's golden whistle, Jimmy Doleman. You were my highlight for the weekend. A mobile,
Speedy Gonzalez.
positive, hardworking referee. That's what I want to see. It was great to watch.
I should have written up his captain's chat to the players as well when there was that injury time when he was wanting to control them better.
I did see a little clip of Paul Williams threatening to free kick a
Oh,
prop.
yeah.
I love that.
I wrote that one as well. In a minute, you'll get a free kick or something.
I'll free kick you.
I'll free kick you in a minute. Yeah.
Paul Williams. Love it. Just throwing shade.
There you go. That's the captain chat of the week.
You got a prop down there trying to set a scrum, but he's up there talking to the ref and like, do your job. Shut up.
Yeah. All righty. Six Nations appointments.
Bum, bum, bum.
Now, there's been a little bit of a change because I don't know if you've noticed, there's some difficulties flying through certain parts of the world at the moment. So,
oh my goodness, my friend was meant to fly out, and we were trying to search on Sunday for his new flights going through Dubai. It was crazy.
well, it's interesting. A lot of the metal from those airlines are not there, and a lot of them are here. Like the Emirates have got something like 30 380s stranded around the world at the moment. So if you've got a garage that fits a 380, you can probably get some good coin out of them at the moment. But in the meantime, it does make it hard for long distance travel, particularly for match officials from this part of the world. So it means Bears, unfortunately, has missed out on a gig. He was meant to be on the Italy-England match. So he's not going to make it. So they've changed those appointments around a little bit. Italy, England's now Luke Ramos in the middle, which was always the case. Pierre Brousseau's now AR1, Sam Grove-White's AR2, Eric Gozon and Ben Whitehouse in front of the screens. So that's Italy, England, and that's on Saturday at the Stadio Olimpico in Roma. Then going back to Friday, the Battle of the Irish Sea, Ireland and Wales, that's at the Aviva. And that's Carl Dixon, Nika Amish-Kelly and Damien Schneider, who we've met recently. On the flags, Andrew Jackson and Tual Trainini in the screens. And then on Saturday, Princess Anne, no doubt watching on, Scotland, France, the old firm, Gussie. So he obviously got out of Dodge before the flights became problematic. Andy Brace, Craig Evans on the flags. Brett Cronin also got out of Dodge. And Ollie Hodges, who's sort of got out of Dodge a while ago, but is notionally Irish, also on the screen. So we'll hear an Aussie, a Queenslander, an ex-Aussie on that one.
Hang on, Queenslanders are also Aussies, are they?
Depends who you ask, Pearcey.
Confused space.
Depends whether it's State of Origin week.
Yes, indeed. That's a whole new pod.
Let's leave it alone.
Yeah.
They're not so bad, those Queenslanders.
And that, she said, is all I got.
Excellent.
Oh my God. I don't have a law of the week.
No, I don't either this week. I missed the GMG.
I think we put the GMGs in as the laws of the week.
Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
And I really am positive about that play enclosure.
Oh, me too.
I think that's a great step from Rugby Australia. So well done, team.
Yep.
And we're the trial state. So maybe if it goes well, we feed back information, then let's see what Rugby Australia does for other states as well.
Well, we were a good sample size. So in round numbers, about 55, 56% of rugby players in Australia come out of the New South Wales system, whether it's community or performance. So good sample size.
Good sample size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if New Zealand rugby have any issues with that as well. Everyone's just nodding their heads slowly.
I actually, that's possibly a really good chat for another podcast. We should see who's the community ref liaison over there and perhaps have a chat with them and compare how they're handling it.
Yeah, we may even know who she is.
Yeah.
So, Alrighty, guys. Well, that was a nice little pod. Lots of different topics covered. Thank you all for listening. You know where to find us on YouTube as well. You could see Pearcey in his studio from last week and his new studio this week. So,
yeah, last week's studio didn't work so well.
No. Yeah, there was a lot of outside, but not much broadcast.
Yeah, I tried.
You were very trying, Pearcey.
I got the impression that there was a growing delay, so probably cut and run. It's the normal for me. I don't like finishing things.
Well, I might see you at the TOS match, Rob, on Friday.
Shout out to my beautiful daughter Vespa with the ankle surgery today. Big day for her.
Yeah.
long road to recovery, but she's got this.
All the best. She'll come out bigger, stronger, faster. We can rebuild her. We have the
Mm.
technology.
Rebuild.
Look out those. She's going to have a left foot step.
Yeah, she'll break some other ankles now.
Yeah. Back to breaking others.
Yeah.
Rob, we're actually okay this week. I know we're normally at our benchmark. It's pretty easy to beat that. Candace, as usual, you were fabulous.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Enjoy.